So we're going to come up with an exponential regression. We should be familiar with a linear regression from Algebra 1. You may have also learned exponential regressions then, but probably not. So basically we have this data here. You can see I have my table of x values and corresponding y values. While the x's are only increasing by 1, the y values are increasing by more and more as we go, which gives me a hint that it might be exponential. But on the regions, it does tell you the type of regression at once, and on the Algebra 2 regions, it is always an exponential regression. So the first thing I need to do is enter this data into my lists. So I'm going to do that by pressing the Stat button, and Edit is the first option, so press Enter. And I'm going to enter the x values in list 1 and the y values in list 2. Okay, and if, 95, not 35. If you ever are like on the regions or on a test and trying to enter lists and any lists are missing, or you are struggling to get there or to clear the lists, you can always clear the calculator by pressing second memory, and then it'll give you the options to clear and bring it back to totally reset calculator. Okay, so I have my information, x values in list 1, y values in list 2. So now I'm going to press Stat and go over to Calc. And if I scroll down, I should see exponential regression is option 0. So I'm going to press Enter. And it wants X list and Y list, which if you entered them as L1 and L2, that is probably what's automatically coming up. If it's not and you need to change it, like let's say that L2 is not what already was said there, if you look on your buttons in blue above 2, you should see L2. So I can press second L2 to enter that there. Frequency list, nothing. Store, nothing. I'm going to press Calculate. Okay, so it gives the regression to us in the format, and it says this here, y equals a times b to the x, which is kind of our general format for an exponential equation, and then it gives you values for a and b. So let's say that I've asked you to find this regression and to round the values of a and b to the nearest hundredth. So in that case, I'm looking for just 2 decimal places here. So this would be y equals, so a is 3.04645, so to the nearest hundredth, 2 decimal places. That would mean a is 3.05. And b, 1.988094. So I'm going to round that to the nearest hundredth, which is going to bring this up to 1.99. And that is raised to the x. So often they'll just ask you to come up with the equation. Sometimes they may ask you to estimate, like use this value or use this equation to determine what y would be when x is like 2.5 or something like that, and you would just plug in that x value here and calculate it to find the corresponding y.